So as you all know, in mid-June, this journey began. Commissioner Schiraldi asked us to form a improvement team. I didn't know at the time what that meant, what was an improvement team. He asked us to address collateral consequences. I didn't really know what that meant per se either. And to bring about change in the agency that was meaningful, targeted, and would benefit both our clients and our staff. The team was composed only of probation staff, members of community organizations, and former probationers. And so it was a really dynamic group. It included Andrea Batista-Schlesinger, who was here. I asked her to introduce herself. And I don't know if we want to, would the committee members please introduce themselves, starting from Susan.
Susan Tucker.
Michael Torello, probation officer, Queens Special Offenders Unit.
Supervising probation officer Madera, Kings SOU.
Myra Redden, Director at Kings Family Corporation.
And the Kings IT.
Steve Kikais, Administrative Corps.
Glenn Martin, Fortune Society.
Siobhan Goodman, Assistant Commissioner for the Bronx. Kathy Stone, Special Projects Probation.
Lorraine Gilmore, Adult Services.
Anita Martin, Legal Action Center. Lori Felice, Youth Represent.
Kate Rubin, the Bronx Defenders, I was a subcommittee member. Judy Whiting, Community Service Society subcommittee member.
Kathy Cousins, soon to be the Deputy Commissioner at Probation for Planning, Training, and Community Partnerships.
And I'm Kerry Taylor. I was the chair of the committee.
We could choose to say it's our business to do everything in our power to get people IDs, or to get people hooked up with Medicaid, or to get
My office, the Office of Citywide Health Insurance Access, working with DOP now for some years, and we have had facilitated enrollers predominantly provided by the managed care plans that make the public health insurance programs available there. And to your point, Commissioner, some of the issue in terms of encouraging probationers to take advantage of that resource that's available at the offices is helping them with the kind of documentation they need to provide to pursue the application. Sometimes, sometimes that's an issue, and sometimes there is the need for probation staff help and focus so that that process can go more smoothly in a timely way.
To encourage people to access the kinds of things that we believe will be good for them, either good for them in terms of not getting rearrested, or just good for them. Right.
Yeah, and we talked that one of the ethics driving our dialogue had been, we make a distinction between helping someone to complete an application or helping someone enroll. So we felt that our goal has to be enrollment and not just application.
Go through the, very simply through the requirements for, so let's say for the footsteps, right? And if we have these, the requirements for the footsteps, we can run this through our, population, and we can find out a group of people who actually are eligible for that. And they don't do this because they don't know this, and we don't do this. And in other words, we can run it through the data match to another agency, find out if they have it or they don't have it. This all sorts of stuff could be done electronically to delineate the group of people who actually have the right to get it.
Also chairing the RCMS, the kiosk improvement team.
Right.
55% of our people are on kiosks. We could, for a month, change the 6 questions that they answer, or whatever, right, and say, throw a couple out that we don't care about, and add a couple that are the questions that we need to know about food stamps. And if they answered them, and it said, you're food stamp eligible, it could spit out something that says, you're food stamp eligible. If you'd like help in getting food stamps, see the kiosk coordinator, or whatever it is. And then we should have to do the process.
We data match everybody. If the concept is that each individual is going to have some issues, and we talk to that individual and make it conducive for him or her to show up and have this discussion, you eliminate the need to have a list of everybody who needs food stamps, but you have a person who might need food stamps and help with child support and help with other things, and then somebody there to help them do that. Actually fill out the applications and all kinds of discussions with the other agencies about how to move those applications in a quick way.
PO will be sitting with the probation officer, with the probationer, and reviewing the rap sheet to identify errors, missing information, so that the barriers that are presented before the probationer in obtaining employment could be rectified at the PO level. Once we identify those missing information, errors in the rap sheet, we make appropriate referrals to Legal Action Center, Bronx Defense. We will also provide the probationers with pamphlets where they can obtain the rap sheet if they want to go forth and do it themselves. We give them the address, the information, how they will go about obtaining that information.
But I can't express enough that, again, we're encouraging our folks to tell the truth to the prospective employer that the next step would be to have probation weigh in, put in a good word if the person really is doing well in terms of completing their requirements.
Right now, for a lot of folks, they feel the only thing I can get out of probation is something bad, right? Or the avoidance of something bad. That's as good as it gets. The best thing I can hope from probation is that they don't hurt. And that's not good enough, right? The research tells us very clearly that if you're able to give people something to work for as opposed to work against, they'll do better, right? And so, if, there's many things that I'm hearing, Carrie, from you guys about ways to throw incentives into the pot. This would certainly be a big one. I know if I keep my nose clean and I go for a job, my PO is going to write a factual letter saying I at least kept my nose clean, and for some people that can make a difference in employment.
Last year, we have really improved, and I think everyone will agree with us, because in the past, it's true, we had the old-fashioned idea that you had to earn the certificate. We actually did that, which is what most judges, or many, still believe. So we did change our thinking last year, and all the branches of investigation came on board. So now we recommend the certificates. That's all. We always recommend the court grants and denies.
When we started out, I would have been sitting between these two guys. No, when we first started out, folks were sort of bunkering down with their colleagues, if you will. We did a team building exercise. Yeah, I think that was excellent, because I think that sort of broke the ice and broke down the tension, and folks felt much more comfortable and laughed a little bit. Sometimes you hear something come out of someone else's mind, like, really? But it's coming from their perspective. But after that team building exercise, it was like, okay, well, obviously that presents a different perspective or reason, but I'm willing to hear it. And I think it was interesting where we started and where we ended up. I thought it was great teamwork.
Are very, very happy to hear, that as a result of this, that there is, going to be ongoing collaboration continuing, because there is such a need for, looking at NYCHA, looking at things happening with the courts. I don't want to jump ahead of what your presentation is, but it's nice that was.
I think it was insightful for the other agencies, because they learned something about probation. Some of the misconceptions hopefully gone now. So I think it was a good experience. At least it was me.
I would like to add, it was very, very good. I've been working here 10 years, and I never had an opportunity to sit with commissioners who wanted to hear what we had to say or wanted to know how we felt about something. And it was to do that thing, and I just appreciated that. They give us the opportunity to speak and let them know how we feel and how we would like some things to be done in probation that we think will be helpful or relevant to rehabilitating the probationers. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
The entire process of working with probation so demystified things for me and so built up a level of trust and understanding, and I knew who I could contact when I had problems. And we had a direct dialogue, and those problems were solved. To the extent probation could do anything, they did everything they could to help me. And my client really appreciated it. So, yeah.
As our first foray into the world of improvement teams, I love this, and What my intention is to do now that we have a new deputy commissioner for community programs is to ask you to come up with a work plan to implement the recommendations here and come back to me. And I would like you to sort of run that past the committee once you develop the work plan before you bring it to me. And I won't impose a deadline on you because you don't even work for me yet.
Yeah. Oh, I know that.
Not quite yet. But I'd like you to, once you have a chance to find out what our bathrooms are, and all that kind of stuff, to tell me what you think is a realistic deadline. So, bang the gavel on this meeting and bang it in.